Hi, my name is Matt Fiuza. I'm a senior art director of Disney Live Entertainment, and I was responsible for leading the visual development teams to bring Disney villains Unfairly Ever After to life. Here are three things you should be on the lookout for that you might not have noticed the first time you saw the show. As you watch our show, pay close attention to the wallpaper left and right of the theater. Throughout the show, you might see some slight transformations that you might not notice right away. The other thing you might want to also see, and maybe you picked up on it, our theater masks have a slight inspiration from two characters. Don't panic if you can't figure out who. I won't be a pain and keep quizzing you, but you should just be on the lookout for that. And finally, pay really close attention to our song, because our song tells our whole story of our whole show, and you can also download it, that other upbeat version towards the end, and I have downloaded it, and I'll confess sometimes I listen to it driving to work. So those are some three deep dive pieces. Maybe the song is not as deep, but great things that you guys can be on the lookout for the next time you go watch Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After.
I am Tara Anderson. I'm a show director with Disney Live Entertainment, and I am honored to be the show director for Disney Starlight. And so let me tell you about some things. If you check out the magical moments that happen during the parade, you might see some really wonderful things. I would be on the lookout for, if you notice on our Encanto float, Bruno has some friends with him back there. Take a look and see if you can spot them. Also, there's a magical thing that happens as Mirabel, as the magical moment happens, look at the surface of the candle, you might see something special. I will just say that. There are the other magical moments that happen. If you haven't seen Grandmother Tala, make sure you see her. There's a magical moment on each unit, so hopefully you get to see that and you could discover that and experience that. And also make sure you stay till the end, because get your last final goodbye from Jiminy Cricket. So the music was really important, right? And when we talked about what we wanted it to sound like, it was important, of course, to have that electronic sound, which is original Electrical Parade, the orchestral sound of Spectral Magic. Fuse them together, very, very nice, right? We had to create an original song. And so we listened to a lot of songs, and we landed on our Starlight Anthem, because we wanted something that could feel ethereal, but could also be soaring. And could run the gamut. So that was really important to us, and to create a soundscape, not just the music, but also the other sounds. What does the Blue Fairies magic sound like? And how is that magical moment similar yet different over the course of the parade for each unit? That was all really important to us. So, and yes, if you listen to our opening announcement, you might just hear some words about when a star is born, they possess a gift or two. You might have heard those before, which are, of course, the opening lyrics to When You Wish Upon a Star, and that was important to us, too. Nods to the past, but eyes firmly on the future.
Hi, my name is Carrie Chan. I am a project manager with Walt Disney Imagineering, and I was the project manager on the latest reimagining of the test track here at EPCOT. Three of my favorite things on the attraction are the Future Garage scene. I think that's a perfect combination of classic Disney Imagineering with the effects with the mirrors, and General Motors' concept for the future of the automotive industry coming together in a great way. I also love in the scenic drive that you can experience a little bit of that fresh mountain air and a scent effect in that scene. And of course, the finale, right before you launch out into the future and experience the fast ride outside. I love all of the little Easter eggs that you can see in the Future City scene.
Hi, I'm James Silson, show director with Disney Live Entertainment, to talk about The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure. There's a few things about this production that I love that I think would be wonderful to share with audiences. The first is, we have a tremendous amount of technology in the show and how it interplays with the live performers and the live puppets on stage. And so there's an incredible amount of handoff between the two of those. With anything with Disney, with the storytelling that we do, it always starts with story first. We wanted to tell a stage show, a live theatrical retelling of this wonderful story on stage, but we wanted to elevate it with new technology. And so this perfect balance of the two. So you see this exemplified in moments like Under the Sea, when you have Sebastian performing this wonderful piece with all these puppets around him, but then on the screen in front of him you have these digital puppets that are interacting and choreographed to do this show-stopping number. And we magically have Ariel swimming into the middle of that and making her part of that. So for me, that's one of my favorite experiences in the show. Little tidbit there, if you're watching Under the Sea, there's a couple of moments that we did in the digital world that you might miss. One is this little fish swims by and hears Ariel saying, I dream about going up there. And he does a little take to the house, a little head shake, and then he swims off camera, which is really fun. And then near the end, when all the ensemble comes out and starts doing like the marching band stuff and all these bands come back, there's this horn section that comes in, and there's this one little trombone player who gets so excited that he leaves his rank, comes out front, plays a little ditty, and then comes back in. And so stuff like that I think is really fun, that just brings a whole element of life to the show. The other thing is the opportunity to, create this immersive world around our performers. If you look at the fireflies in Kiss the Girl, for instance, those fireflies are actually in real time working around our performers and populating the space. And so the way the technology works for us, it allows us to create elements like that are moving through the space in a dynamic way that again brings more life. And so pay attention to the fireflies. And then I think there's three things, right? The third thing is for me, my favorite is really just Ariel swimming. I think in the previous show, Ariel was pretty much, on her rock throughout the entire experience. That's how that show is designed. In this show, we had the opportunity to allow Ariel to swim through these environments and really immerse her in this world. And I think that, for me, is a moment of magic that I really respond to, and I think our guests do too. There is one more moment in the show that I really love, and I'll just kind of touch on this briefly. Again, so much about this show is about the blend of live theater meets technology, but the battle sequence in the show between Ursula and Eric and Ariel, for me, that is a pure moment of theater where, using a theatrical device like these ship pieces coming in, swirling around Eric, becoming a ship, and then Eric steering that into Ursula, Ursula being represented as a digital character in that moment. That, for me, is a wonderful use of where theater meets technology and delivers on what a stage show is really meant to be. So a real favorite of mine, and when you sit in the audience, I think it's a real favorite for the audience too.